It's the next day, and I managed to do a little bit of quilting on my quilt last night. Well, let's just say it went okay, but the patterns I digitized were didn't fit most of the petals. I actually did probably 4 or 5 of the petals with the patterns I created, but I had to modify them just to get them to fit. And then the other ones I ended up doing freehand. And so I'll show you a little bit, a couple of videos maybe of how I got the patterns to fit. I think next time I do this, I'm just going to take one of the panels and put it on a light box, trace around each petal, and scan that into my computer and use that as the outline of the petals, because I really missed some of the small petals. I guess I couldn't see it with the resolution that I had for the image. And I missed the shape of the petals. I had all kinds of problems. Anyway, it's still going to turn out. I still can fix it. It's not like the end of the world. I didn't waste my time. So I think it'll be fine. I'll show you some pictures of the quilting I already did, and also a couple of videos, like I said, of how I managed to fix my mistakes. I'm starting on my Poinsettia quilt, and I can already see that I'm going to have some problems with my digitized patterns. Like I said, I had to digitize off a photo. Even though the photo was pretty clear, I had to take down the resolution in order to bring it into Art and Stitch, and I just didn't guess very well. So I was going to start with this little guy right here, and he's pretty small. I mean, you can see it on my hand. And that was the design I had digitized for it. And obviously it's not even close to the same shape. And this is so small that this would look terrible. So I'm going to go ahead and just do this one by hand, and then we'll try the next one. Here's the quilting I did last night in the middle of the poinsettia, and some of them I used the quilting patterns I created, and some of them I didn't. The quilting patterns I created were way off in most cases, because I couldn't see like the small petals right here, or this one. This one was too densely quilted for the size, and there was all kinds of problems. This one, I thought it went this way instead of this little jog. So there was numerous problems. This one I freehand, this one, and this one. And then these, I adapted the patterns I already created and made them work. It took me a little bit, but I somehow got it to work. Now, I think as I get further along, and I get to the bigger petals, it might be easier, because I think I could see those better on the image that I was digitizing off of. So we'll see. Okay, here I am in my software for my Gammill. It's called Creative Studio, and I created this boundary around the poinsettia leaf that I have. And this is the digitized pattern that I created. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in here. And you can see it doesn't quite fit. This one actually is probably better than the other ones I did. This one actually is at least in the shape of the petal. The other ones weren't. So I'm going to go ahead and modify this a little bit. I think I want to stretch it a little bit this way. Maybe like that. And then I'm going to take this outside border off. There we go. As long as it's kind of within there. I can take this outside border off and then just quilt the inside. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to bring up my nodes and try to remember how I digitized this. I'm going to come way down here and break it right here. And you can tell the one with the node still on is the outside border. So I'm just going to hit my delete key. And there we go. And all I need to do is adjust the nodes down here a little bit. So these little green handles are the curves and the pink nodes are the lines. So we can kind of move a combination of both of them to get what we want. No, there's not a good way to select all of them at the same time. So it's harder to move the whole line. All right, I think that looks pretty good. We're going to go ahead and start quilting. See how well I did.
This petal actually turned out pretty good, and I think it lined up pretty nice.
Here's the next petal I'm going to do, and I already have it outlined, and I drew the boundary already with my long arm, and I'll show you how I'm going to fix the next petal pattern. So here's the outline for my petal I just showed you, and I'm going to try my next pattern, and here it is. Zoom out a little bit, and let's try to rotate it and see if we can get it to fit. This one isn't too bad. Like I said, I think the ones with the bigger petals were easier for me to see. And this one's pretty close. So I'm pretty happy with that. That's probably going to work. I just need to modify it just a tiny bit. Okay, we're ready to stitch this pattern out. Just going to pull up the bobbin thread real quick.
It feels like this petal took me hours to finish.
So my machine thinks I broke the thread, which I actually did. And so I just need to fix it real quick. Sometimes it thinks it broke the thread and it hasn't. And that it has done that to me ever since I got it. All right. I'm just going to press auto start and see where it wants to start. And I think I want to start just a tad bit back, so I'm going to use that point and click quilt. And I want to cut the bottom thread that's still attached under there, but not both of them coming out of there. So I slowed the machine down just a little bit, and I can see that it's just broke the thread again.
I was plagued with many thread problems in this quilt project, and I almost gave up on it. I was pretty upset about it, and I tried everything to solve the problem. I ended up having to put a bigger needle in. Now I went and had my machine serviced, and it's working much better. I don't think I would have this same problem, so I don't know if it was the machine, the backing, the needle, the thread, exactly what it was. I mean, I'd have to quilt the quilt again to find out, but I haven't had these type of problems anymore. So I think maybe it was just the machine was just out of timing a little bit.
I rolled the quilt up so I could take a look at the back and see how things are going. The stitches look okay. There was a little bit of bunching where I had my thread breaks, and I had to fix it, but it's not too bad. It's looking pretty good. Go around to this side. And of course, you can't really see much of the quilting on the white as much as on the green panel. But I still think it looks good. I got a little bit more bunching right here. I can cut some of those threads off. Overall, it looks pretty good. Well, I'm still plagued with thread breaks and skip stitches. You can see one right there, and it really did a terrible job over here. So I have to fix those, and what I'm going to do is drop the belts, and I'll probably draw where I need to be on this one and then stitch over it, and we'll see about this one. Okay, I went back and fixed the stitches. So I had a skip stitch here, and you can't even see where I repaired it. And then of course I fixed it right here. I had to take it all out and stitch this by hand. And when it's dry, I used a blue marker to make sure I was following where I needed to be. And when it's dry, you won't be able to see it. You can kind of see a little bit of thread build up right here, but when the quilt is all done, you're not going to be able to see it. How do I look? Do I look stressed? Well, I've had a very stressful day. So things didn't work out quite like I thought it was going to. First of all, I kept having thread problems all day. One of my patterns wouldn't stitch out at all. I finally got it to stitch out after I took it out, I don't know, 4 times. I probably worked on it 2 hours, just one petal. I don't know. I changed the needle, I changed the thread, I did all kinds of stuff. I still could not get it to work. I barely got it to work enough that I could go over it and take out all the skip stitches and go back over it freehand. So yeah, it's been one of those days. But I got all but one petal done on the center, and I started to do this last petal, but I used a fill when I created the pattern for it, and there is a lot of overstitching, and I don't know. I think I might redo it. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll just do something freehand. I don't know. It's going to have to wait till tomorrow because I'm not doing it tonight. It's like, I don't know, I think it's 6:30 here. I started maybe 9:30, 10 o'clock today, so I've been working on it for a long time. Thanks.